Most law firms we talk to ask the same questions. What if the AI says something wrong to a potential client? What if it misunderstands the caller and collects the wrong information? What if the voice AI sounds obviously fake and damages our reputation, and so on and so forth, right? And you have every single right to ask those questions. I would also ask those same questions if I was looking to add a voice AI for myself. The truth is, we got you covered. We built hundreds of agents and know exactly how these things work. All right, so we have perfected our system so it does not do any of those things and so much more. So of course, voice AI out of the box might not be so appealing. It's usually robotic, it's cold, it interrupts, it misunderstands. And for a law firm whose clients are calling during the worst moments of their lives, it's not just unenjoyable, but it's pretty annoying, and that's a trust killer. Okay? So, however, what if I told you that the firms using our setup are getting callers who don't even realize they are talking to AI? That's what happens when you build it right. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. I'm Kevin Campos. I work exclusively with law firms to cut operational costs and unlock revenue being left on the table. Now, a big part of what we do is implement voice AI through SynFlow and capture every single conversation and make sure nothing falls through the cracks for them. So today, I will walk you through step by step of how we're able to get this done, okay? So let's jump in. So here's the truth that most voice AI companies don't want to say out loud. Generic, out-of-the-box voice AI is not good enough for law firms. The default settings, the default voice, the default script, the default flow were not built with a scared, stressed, first-time legal caller in mind. They were built to be functional, but functional isn't good enough when your client is calling about something they just covered, like let's say a divorce paper, right? So therefore, the firms that tried voice AI and had bad results, they didn't have a technology problem, they had a configuration problem most of the time, based off the people that we've worked with. And this is the part that pretty much changes everything when you configure it correctly, right? The experience becomes so seamless that callers complete intakes at a higher rate than with a human receptionist. And why? Other than it being able to take more calls. Why? Because unlike a human, it never has a bad day. It never sounds rushed. It never makes the caller feel like a burden. Every single call gets the same calm, professional, and unhurried experience. And that's the version we build. But here's how. So here are, first of all, some myths. Before I show you the build, I want to knock down 3 myths that are stopping most law firms from even trying this. So the first myth, clients will know it's a robot and hang up. First of all, one of the main things that we want to make sure that we know, right, is they need to know that it's a robot. They need to know it's an AI because that's how legal it is. This is not legal advice, of course, but they just need to know this. However, even if somebody knows it's a voice AI, it doesn't necessarily make them feel like they're talking to an AI, even though it mentioned that it's an AI. So that's the type of feeling that we want each of these guys that take the intake to feel, right? So here's what the data actually shows. When a voice AI is configured with the right voice, the right pace, and the right script, callers complete intake at a comparable or better rates than with human receptionists. Not trying to compare the two, but then again, this is the best thing to compare it with. So the ones who hang up, they were going to hang up anyway most of the time. So then the ones who are generally looking for help, they stay most of the time, even if it's a voice AI caller, right? Callers don't necessarily hang up because it's AI. They hang up because their entire experience just feels off. Fix the experience and you fix the hang up rate. Now the second myth, it can't handle real conversations, only simple questions. This was true 3 years ago. It is not true today. The SynFlow build we use handles objections, clarifying questions, emotional responses, and complex intake flows in real time. We'll show you exactly how that works in just a minute. Now, modern voice AI handles nuanced conversations. The key is in how you write the script and you configure the fallback logic. Now, the third myth, it feels impersonal. Legal is a relationship business. This is the one I usually hear the most, and I get it. But here's the question I ask every single person that owns a firm, and this is what I say, right, usually. How personal is it when your intake person is juggling 4 calls at once and the caller feels rushed? How personal is it when a lead calls at 7 p.m. on a Friday and hits voicemail? How personal is it when the follow-up email takes 3 days to arrive to the person who took the intake? The AI never does any of these things. It picks up the phone on the first ring every time. It gives every caller its full undivided attention every time. That is personal. That's what I relate to as personal. And it's just consistent personal, which I actually like it a lot better. Now, consistency is the relationship. A caller who always feels heard and never feels rushed trusts your firm before they've even met an attorney. This is how we build it, okay? So I'm going to show you inside SimFlow now. These are the specific things we configure to make the experience feel seamless every single time. The most important moment of any intake is the first 4 seconds. Now, that is usually when our caller decides, well, consciously or not, whether they trust what they're hearing or not. Most default voice AI openings sound like this. Hello, thank you for calling. How can I help you today? Pretty flat, transactional, robotic, but ours sounds like this. Hi there, thank you so much for reaching out. I want to make sure we get you to the right place. Can I ask what's bringing you in today? The difference is that you get more warmer and more natural opening. So because we open with curiosity and not specifically transaction, and this is just one of the examples because we fit whatever the law firm is doing, but that one rewrite alone improves caller retention in the first 10 seconds by a measurable margin, believe it or not. And one of the biggest tells that something is AI is unnatural pacing. Humans pause, humans breathe. Humans don't fire back instantly the millisecond you stop talking. Now, inside SynFlow, we configure what's called interruption sensitivity and response delay. We tune these so that the AI waits just slightly before responding, mimicking the natural beat of a human conversation. And it sounds like a small thing, but it is not a small thing. That half-second pause is the difference between this feels like a person and this feels like a robot. This is the one that makes law firm owners' jaws drop when they usually see it. And I love seeing it every single time. Legal callers are not calling to order a pizza. They're scared, they're angry, they're grieving. And if the AI responds to an emotional caller the same way it responds to a calm one, you've lost that caller. So we build what we call empathy triggers into the script. These are conditional responses that activate when the caller uses certain language. So if a caller says something like, I don't know what to do, or I'm really stressed about this, the AI doesn't just barrel forward with the next intake question. It responds the way a good intake person would. I completely understand. That's exactly why we're here. Let's make sure we get you to the right help. And then it continues to take the intake flow. That's not technology, that's empathy built into the system that we have made. The last piece, and this is where the whole system clicks together, okay? Once the voice AI completes intake, every single piece of information captured on that call gets automatically logged into a CRM, sent via email, sent via text, whatever you need at that very given moment, okay? Now, this basically brings the caller's situation, the caller's name, the type of cases, their availability, every single question that they answered on call, whether you'd like it to be specific or not, all of it in the contact record in real time is sent to you. So by the time an attorney or intake specialist follows up, they already know everything. They're not asking the caller to repeat themselves. They're picking up the conversation where the AI left it. The seamlessness that feeling for the caller that the firm already knows them and is prepared is what returns a stressed caller to a signed client. So back to where we started, right? Here's what actually happens when you build it in a way that I just showed you. Callers complete intake, they feel heard, they show up to their consultation already trusting the firm because every interaction so far has been smooth, professional, and attentive. The firms we built this for don't get complaints about the AI, they get compliments about how easy it was to get started with the firm. Some callers don't find out they spoke to an AI until they already are signed clients, which is the funny thing, right? Obviously, unless the AI told them to, which it did. But even so, right, it's funny to think about that, right? And when they do find out, most of them say, honestly, it was better than being put on hold. All right, so that's the standard we build to. Not good enough for AI, better than the alternative, okay? Because that's what your clients deserve, and that's what actually grows your firm. And if you've never tried it, you can head over to our website and play around with our AI, a real conversation about your firm, your callers. So if you want to talk to a member of our team, you can click on the pinned comment below and we can help answer further questions in depth, of course. If what we do is the right fit, great. If it's not, you'll still leave with a clear picture of what you actually need. Either way, you win. The link is below. I'm Kevin Campos, and I'll see you in the next one.